Today, inside the Federal High Court in Abuja, tension rose once again as Justice James Omotosho gave what he called the last opportunity to Nnamdi Kanu, the self-acclaimed leader of the proscribed IPOB, to defend himself in his long-running terrorism trial or lose that right completely. But what really happened inside that courtroom? Why is Kanu refusing to open his defense? And what does this mean for the future of his case? And perhaps for Nigeria's legal system itself? Let's break it down carefully. The courtroom was calm but tense. Nnamdi Kanu, wearing his usual white outfit, stood in the dock, this time without a lawyer. He now represents himself, no legal team, no senior advocate by his side. Justice Omotosho began by recalling that the courts had already granted several adjournments for Kanu to open his defense, but he never did. Then came the warning, clear and final. I am bound to give him another opportunity to put in his defense, the judge said, but if he does not, I will deem him closed. He emphasized that as a judge, his duty is to ensure fair hearing, even to a man who now refuses to defend himself. On the other side stood the lead prosecutor Adegboyega Awomolo, a respected legal mind with decades of courtroom experience. He wasn't smiling. To him, the case had dragged long enough. Awomolo reminded the court that Kanu had already used 5 out of the 6 days given to him for defense but still refused to proceed. He urged the judge to foreclose the defendant. In other words, to declare that Kanu had forfeited his right to defend himself and move straight to judgment. Awomolo's argument was simple. My lord, the defendant has made it clear that he will not enter any defense because he believed there is no valid charge against him. That is his position. It was a bold request, essentially asking the court to shut down Kanu's side of the story once and for all. But Kanu, standing tall in the dock, spoke directly to the judge, no lawyers, no intermediaries. He told the court that there was no valid charge against him, that the law used to prosecute him had already been repealed, and therefore, in his word, there is nothing to defend. It was the same argument he has mentioned for months, that his trial is built on an invalid foundation, and from his perspective, to defend himself against what he considers an illegal charge would be to acknowledge its legitimacy. So Kanu refused to play along. Justice Omotosho found himself in a delicate position. On one hand, the law demands that every accused person must have a fair opportunity to present their case. On the other hand, the same law warns against endless delays. In his words, I know that he's an economist and not a lawyer. I will give the last opportunity to the defendant to put in his defense, failure which he would be deemed close. That statement struck a balance, both compassionate and firm. He acknowledged Kanu's lack of legal training, yet made it clear that patience has limits. The judge then adjourned the case till November 7, 2025, the final date for Nnamdi Kanu to either defend himself or be deemed to have closed his case. Before adjourning, the courtroom had one more moment of drama. The prosecutor, Awomolo, raised a fresh complaint, not against Kanu but against his former lawyers. He accused them of giving media interview and making social media comments about the ongoing case. The judge didn't take that lightly. He cautioned the lawyers, which are now referring to themselves as Kanu consultants, to respect the ethics of their profession. They were in court not as a legal representative this time, but merely as observers. Justice Omotosho warned them to act with restraint, reminding them that sensitive cases like this must be handled with decorum. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Kanu's argument about an invalid charge is not just a personal defense, it's a legal bombshell. If his claim that the law used to prosecute him has been repealed is ever accepted, it could affect how terrorism-related cases are handled across the country. But for now, the court hasn't agreed with that position. Instead, the judge wants Kanu to either present his defense or move aside and let the case proceed to judgment. For Nnamdi Kanu, this is a make or break moment. If he refuses again on November 7, the court may proceed without him, and that could mean a verdict without his version of the story ever being heard. This case is not just about one man, it's about the delicate balance between law and resistance, state power and personal conviction. Kanu's defiance has always been political, but inside the courtroom, politics gives way to procedure, and procedure doesn't forgive silence. The judge has been careful, giving him multiple chances to ensure no one can later say he wasn't heard. But every legal system has an endpoint, and it seems that endpoint is now approaching fast. If Kanu opens his defense, we might finally hear his legal reasoning in full. But if he refuses, the court may close the case and deliver judgment based on the prosecution's evidence alone, a scenario that could reshape the conversation around his long-standing trial. So here's the big question everyone is asking. Will Nnamdi Kanu finally open his defense, or will he continue to challenge the legitimacy of the trial itself? Whatever happens on November 7, one thing is clear: the fate of his case now hang on that single decision. And once the court deems his defense closed, there may be no turning back. So make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel for more updates, and don't forget to like and share this video so that YouTube can recommend the video for us. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that whenever we post new updates, you will get it immediately. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.